Simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a pack rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This is the Slate, presented by VIP Play.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
I should explain to you exactly what it is that I do.
This is like the luck of the Irish, only I'm not Irish.
Changing 500. I think I want my money back.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Welcome in, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Slate, presented by VIP Play with Max Pennell, Jeremy Inslee. I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this Thursday evening from Knoxville, Tennessee. Plenty to cover over the next hour, including our recap about last night. Plenty of great action both in the MLB and the College World Series. An absolute thriller that we'll go a little bit further into as we now have a championship series set up between LSU and Coastal Carolina. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. We'll dive into the slate. We'll have max out your winnings for some MLB wagers. And then we'll head to tonight's main event, NBA Finals Game 6 in Indiana, as the Pacers fight for their lives and the Thunder look to win their first NBA championship since moving to Oklahoma City. And as always, we'll have our best bets at the end of the show. Let's go ahead and welcome everyone else. Max, how are you doing today on this Thursday? Gosh, a little bit of a mumble getting into that one.
I'm doing well. We had a real treat of a game last night, like you mentioned, the College World Series. Unfortunate for under-bettors, the way that one kind of progressed late, but excited tonight. NBA Finals might be the last basketball game for a while. Hopefully it's not. So crossing my fingers, we still have a little more professional sports outside of baseball to cover after tonight.
Jeremy, how about you? How are you?
Oh, man, doing real good today, William. About didn't make it here. 6:40 is at a snail's pace today. I don't know what's going on. I'm just thankful to be here. Had the day off today. Big shout out to that. Got some things done and glad to be here in the studio talking sports with you boys.
Good stuff. All right, let's dive into about last night, and we'll begin with max out your winnings. Max, how'd you do in the MLB?
I went 1-1-1 on the evening. I was able to get a push, like I said, an unfortunate push on that Arkansas game. I think it was 2-1, the top of the seventh. Had 7 runs to play with. It ends up, worst case scenario, 5-5 because of some really unfortunate plays that we'll get into, I assume, about the last night on Arkansas's end. End up pushing that. Went 1-1 on my MLB bets. Hit Phillies -1.5. A little bit of a scare late. They were able to come away with a 4-2 victory. And then Royals, Rangers under 8 ended up being 6-3 final, so lost that by a run. But we'll take 1-1-1. Never complain about an even night.
Sure, most definitely. And you mentioned that College World Series. Let's dive into that a little bit more as the College World Series finals are set. LSU will meet Coastal Carolina for the national championship in a best-of-3 series to start Saturday after both squads won Wednesday to sweep their sides of the 8-team bracket. LSU, the number 6 seed, won 6-5 in walk-off fashion with 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th, all with 2 outs against third-seeded Arkansas. Jared Jones delivered the game-winning hit against reliever Aiden Janirez, a line drive that bounced into center field off the glove of leaping second baseman Cam Kazil to score Luis Hernandez from second base. And this is now a continuation of Arkansas letting it all fall right in front of their eyes on the big stage. They can never get to the championship game. They can never hoist the trophy, and it's usually some events like what went down last night in Omaha that prevent them from doing that. As you said, Max, you pushed with the total. You had the under 11 and ended up a 6-5 victory for the Tigers. So you pushed there. So that's the only action recap from that one. But when we look at last night overall, it really almost seemed like it should never even gotten to that point. It looked like a pretty clean bet throughout the night, and then just the late game heroics for both teams led to that one pushing.
Yeah, there are about 3 separate plays there where any one of the 3 routine plays gets made. The under's fine. One of the other teams finds a way to win comfortably. You know, Jared Jones drops an easy out at first base. Wasn't even a ball he had to pick, just hitting him in the mitt. Got away. 2 runs come around to score. Arkansas takes the lead via that mistake. Then you think, okay, Arkansas, they have the lead. There's no way this one, gets to a 5-5, 6-5 type game. Bottom 9, like you said, Arkansas kind of Arkansas there in Omaha. The routine ground ball to a future first-round pick here next month, Golden Spikes finalist in Wahiva Aloy. Play that 99 times out of 100. He immediately fields, throws to second, throw to first, game-ending double play. They got another game tonight. Instead, clammed up in the moment. Seems to be a theme under Dave Van Horn in Omaha with the Razorbacks. Throws to third inexplicably, gives LSU new life. And you think, okay, all you need is one more out, 2-run lead. Just get out of this, find a way to get an out here. Pitcher, bless his heart, the guy induces a tailor-made double play, gets a pop fly to left field, left fielder. I couldn't tell if he misjudged the lights initially, just kind of lost his footing. He was in position, which you usually, you see an outfielder misplay a ball, it goes over his head, he dives too early. He was right there, just misses the catch, bounces off his shoulder, then we're at a 5-5 game, and the under of 11, the best you're going to get there is a push, we get it, but real roller coaster of a game. It seems like every year in the College World Series throughout this tournament, you get games like that are improbable. You think Tennessee, Florida State last year, just crazy comebacks.
Yeah.
Guys, college guys making mistakes that you don't see at the professional level that, make it interesting. It keeps it interesting. I just can't get my head around that play by Aloy where, like I said, I think 99 times out of 100, he knows immediately throw to second, throw to first. Arkansas is playing tonight instead. Throws to third, and that was a real backbreaker for them.
Was last night's collapse worse than when they played Oregon State a couple of years back? That collapse, that I guess the stakes were a little bit higher in that Oregon State matchup, but then again, last night you would have had to win 2 in a row, but heading into the bottom of the ninth, you had it in the bag if you just were able to execute on a couple of routine plays, like turning that double play and like being able to field a pop fly in the outfield. It was that a bigger downfall than what happened a couple of years ago?
I think the stakes of the Oregon State game where they were 1 out away from being champions and then end up losing the next game, that one, if I was an Arkansas fan, that one would definitely stick out more, still stick with me to this day. But I think the plays that were not made by Arkansas last night were much more egregious. A pop fly that falls in foul ground, that's not a routine play. Yeah, sure. Arkansas should have caught that ball against Oregon State back in 2019, but that's not a play that you make 100 times out of 100. The other 2 plays, those are inexplicable. I mean, I guarantee you if you hit that gave them the same situation, the same play tonight, tomorrow, every day for the rest of the year, they're making those plays. And inexplicably last night, they don't. So I think the magnitude of the situation, like you said, against Oregon State, that would stick with me more. But the plays that were not made last night are, routine high school level baseball plays, and that would really, as a coach, as a pitcher, there's nothing you can do. It'd really bother me.
Well, now move to the College World Series finale with LSU getting the win last night. They will go up against Coastal Carolina, which is kind of the public's darling, if you will. Everyone has really loved this team throughout the last couple of weeks. It's fun to get around some of these smaller schools. And, Max, you were talking about it yesterday, kind of similar and comparable to March Madness, where you have a team like Gonzaga, not a traditional school in the eyes of, Power 5 athletics, but in basketball, they're damn good. And this is kind of their thing. Like they show up at this time in the season and can make a long run, and now they find themselves going up against a very good LSU team. And we look at the odds provided by VIP Play to win the College World Series. The Tigers of LSU out of the SEC, minus 186, the favorite to win it all. Coastal Carolina, plus 150. Is Coastal Carolina's momentum enough to knock off LSU and worth taking that plus 150?
I think if you trusted Coastal Carolina to this point, you wouldn't have a reason not to. They've proven they can beat anyone in the country. They've beaten Louisville, who knocked off Vanderbilt, like we saw. They've beaten Auburn in 2 games down on the Plains and did it in fairly easy fashion. So a team like LSU they're not going to be wowed by them. This isn't going to be a game they can't win. If you've backed Coastal Carolina and felt comfortable backing them throughout this season, throughout this tournament, you shouldn't be scared off now by LSU. They've beaten teams as good as them all season. The thing that makes LSU a different horse than these other teams they've played, they have 2 of probably the 5 best pitchers in college baseball, and they can throw them game 1 and game 2. Coastal Carolina throughout this tournament, their two Friday and Saturday guys have been the best pitchers on the mound that night. They've had the advantage on the mound, and they've used that to their advantage. They're not going to have that same advantage, clear-cut at least, against LSU. That's what I would be wary of if I was Coastal Carolina. But this team, like I said, they can play with anyone. They've proven that. They play their style of baseball, which I think is important, having an identity, whatever sport it is, and knowing, okay, this is what we know we're good at, and we're going to try to beat you this way. They're going to have the confidence, thanks to that win at Auburn, thanks to the other wins throughout this tournament, they can beat LSU, the only team yet to lose this tournament. But yes, the Ianson-Anderson combo for the Tigers is a tough draw for anyone, let alone the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Now we'll look at Game 1. You talk about that pitching matchup, LSU, 2 of the strongest in college baseball, but Coastal Carolina has had their fair share of success as well. We look at the Game 1 odds. The money line, LSU minus 175, Coastal Carolina plus 132. The run line, LSU minus 1.5 at plus 112. Coastal Carolina plus 1.5 at minus 143 odds. The total for the game, 8.5, a little bit lower than we've seen over the last couple of days in some of these games. LSU, Arkansas last night was at 11. I believe that Coastal and Louisville was somewhere around that number as well. But obviously this is the championship series. You talk about the strength in arms. You're anticipating kind of a very tight game. Are there any early leans you have, Max, for this Game 1 matchup?
Yeah, I think last night and throughout this tournament, I've felt confident taking unders. 8.5 is an extremely low line, especially for college baseball. But I would still feel comfortable at this moment backing the 8.5. I think both these teams' aces are good enough. I assume it's going to be Anderson for LSU. That's kind of how it's lined up. And if both those teams are throwing their aces as they should be, I see a difficulty for both these teams scoring runs. And I also think, last night, that was a game that was going to go under 8.5 if guys made routine plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina is super sound fundamentally. LSU, outside of that really rare mistake by Jared Jones, is very fundamentally sound as well. I would lean 8.5. We'll see if that number climbs up or goes down. But as of right now, that would probably be my only lean on Game 1.
All right, good stuff. College World Series coming up this weekend. First game Saturday at 8 p.m. in Omaha. Should be a really fun battle between Coastal Carolina and LSU. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, getting ready for that matchup. But when we come back, we'll focus on tonight. And tonight's slate, we'll have Max Out Your Winnings, some MLB analysis, and then we'll dive into the main event, NBA Finals Game 6 between the Thunder and Pacers. Stay right here. It's the Slate, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you in ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
All right, back here on the Slate, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app 105.7 FM or 1340 AM right here in Knoxville, Tennessee on the local dial or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. All right, now time for tonight's slate as we've got some MLB action and as well as the NBA Finals Game 6. But before we get to that, let's talk some MLB with Max Out Your Winnings with Max Pennell presented by VIP Play. Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus when you make your first bet of $5 or more. You'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets by using the code FANRUN. That's FANRUN, all caps. And new and more convenient deposit and withdrawal methods are coming soon. And the next VIP Play app update will continue to upgrade features to make the betting experience on VIP Play a great one. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. All right, time for Max Out Your Winnings. Max, take it away.
Yeah, like you said, full MLB slate tonight, NBA Finals. I will leave the NBA Finals talk till later, and I'm sure you have a pretty full card on that, William. So, going to give the listeners some baseball bets tonight. Last night, like I said, 1-1-1. Try and find a positive number tonight. Player prop parlay, game team total as well. We'll start off in Tampa Bay. Orioles-Rays over 8.5. Last night's game was a roller coaster. Orioles go up early 8-0, end up losing 12-8. Not sure I've really seen that before in a Major League Baseball game, but it happened last night. That stadium, tiny this time of year, humid, balls fly out of there. It'd be really difficult to pitch there this time of year. Charlie Morton going for Baltimore. Father Time has kind of caught up to him. He's had a really good, long career, but this year he's really fell off. ERA north of 6. Backing the Rays offense, which has been really good, surprisingly, this season, especially at home. Like I said, smaller ballpark, better hitting conditions. They average 4.5 runs per game at home against a guy, Charlie Morton, like I said, ERA above 6. I really like them to go for the game over 8.5 runs. Orioles offense has had some success in the past against Tampa Bay starter Drew Rasmussen. I think this is a matchup between ballpark factors, pitching matchup, etc., that these teams should get to 9 or more runs. Following that up with an MLB hit parlay, it'll be Trey Turner and Brandon Nimmo for 1+ hit each. That comes out to -110. Trey Turner going against Miami's Edward Cabrera tonight, 3 for 7 lifetime, and he's really been scalding the ball as of late. 357 average his last 7 games, 336 the last 15. Batting leadoff, he's going to get a ton of at-bats as well. Fully expect him to get a hit against Edward Cabrera and the Marlins tonight. Brendan Nimmo, like I said, the other half of that parlay, he's facing Spencer Strider and the Braves. Strider, one of the better pitchers in baseball, but he's had fits with Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo's 8 for 16 lifetime, 2 home runs. So if you're looking for a guy as well for a long shot home run tonight, he's not the worst guy to sprinkle a few bucks on. But take him and Trey Turner, 1+ hit each, -110. Like I said, both these guys as well going to be at the top of the lineup, which means more and more at-bats, more chances to get on base. And then Paul Skeens, this game just started actually, but getting in live, I just checked, the line is still 6.5. I like him over 6.5 strikeouts against Detroit. He's averaging more than a K an inning this year. We know how good he is. He's tops in baseball in a lot of categories. Really, since he's taken an MLB mound, he has been dominant. And Detroit has the 6th highest K rate in baseball. So this is a team that swings and misses a lot, strikes out a lot, despite their really good record and really good offense. They are prone to the strikeout, and no better guy to exploit that than Paul Skeens. He's also top 3 in baseball in innings pitched, which means you get 6, 7, possibly 8 innings out of him, more chances to rack up the strikeouts. He's not a guy that's only going to give you 5 and really limit your opportunities. So tonight, 3 bets, Orioles-Rays over 8.5, parlay of Trey Turner and Brendan Nimmo, 1+ hit each, and Paul Skeens live right now over 6.5 strikeouts in Motown.
All right, max out your winnings. Best of luck to you on the table tonight, Max. And now we'll bounce over to the NBA as we continue tonight's slate. Confident and tested as they've been, the infatigable Indiana Pacers look to be on the ropes for Thursday night's action. The Oklahoma City Thunder enter the corn maze, as I call it, with a 3-2 series lead and improved odds to win it all in Game 6. Tyrese Halliburton, as we've been talking about over the last couple of days, suffered a calf strain in Monday's loss and is deemed a game-time decision tonight. Now, Shams Charania of ESPN did say earlier today that They are anticipating Tyrese Halliburton to play in this game, but whether he plays or whether he doesn't, the Pacers must summon their best basketball to extend the NBA Finals. And we look at the odds provided by VIP Play. The money line, the Thunder minus 235, the Pacers plus 195 at home. The spread, Oklahoma City minus 6. Now, this is down half a point from yesterday. And keep in mind, folks, when the Tyrese Halliburton news on Tuesday dropped that he was a little bit more injured than many had thought, this line had jumped from 4.5 up to 6.5, now back down to 6. So monitoring the line movement there. The Thunder 6-point favorites tonight. The total, however, has been relatively unchanged since the Halliburton news, 222.5, the total for tonight. But we're eyeing some big money as 95% of bets and 95% of money is on the over. We'll begin with talking about the spread. And as we talked about yesterday, the Thunder have only won one game against the spread on the road in this postseason. And I know that is a tough way to have confidence on this Thunder team tonight, but I feel like this is a completely different circumstance than we have seen over their last 8 times. Now, one of them is applicable, and that is Ja Morant being out in Game 4 of the opening round of the NBA Finals. But every other instance, the star player has been healthy and available in these games. The Pacers, with Tyrese Halliburton hobbled clearly as he was in Game 5, I think is a different story here. I am willing to back Oklahoma City at minus 6. They are the better team. They have demonstrated that through much of this series. And my biggest thing over the last 3 games is that Oklahoma City has learned from their mistakes. Game 4 and Game 5 have been examples of that. In Game 3, I thought that the rotations from Mark Daigneault were really, really concerning, where you only played 7 guys in the second half. You can't win against a team like the Pacers who love to push tempo and expect your guys to be fully ready to go and fully energized with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Thunder were gassed out, they were tired, and it showed. In Game 4 and Game 5, Daigneault has leaned on Aaron Wiggins, has leaned on Cason Wallace, has said, all right, let's give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a little bit of a break here. Let's have some of these rotational guys that we have trusted throughout the season. Let's have them show up once again. That's one thing. The second thing, the fourth quarters have been won by the Thunder the last 2 games. The Thunder have avoided the collapses and the prideful attack of the Pacers in the fourth quarter, like we've seen all postseason. They have avoided that over the last 2 games because they have been so much better defensively. They have gotten up into the Pacers' grill, and they are trying to tire the Pacers out and force turnovers and force bad sets, and the Thunder have done that over the last 2 games. Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander have made their shots in the clutch as well. I feel like the Thunder have grown up during these finals, and that's the big thing for both these teams. None of them had NBA Finals experience outside of Pascal Siakam, Alex Caruso, and I guess if you consider Thomas Bryant as NBA Finals experience. But both these teams didn't have much experience. Daigneault really doesn't have any experience in the finals, but the Thunder have grown up more, and I feel like they are ready for tonight, ready for the opportunity to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy. I take them minus 6 tonight. Jeremy, what do you make of the spread tonight?
Look for the Thunder to cover it easy. The news on Halliburton, with him being a game-time decision, I figure that he will go. And even with him on the court, I don't expect him to be at his full capacity playing tonight. If I said a couple shows ago that if he does play tonight, I'm challenging everything with him. I'm picking him up 94 feet. I'm really going to test that calf. And if he proves that he can actually do what he's capable of doing, then fine. But Halliburton, the conversation around Halliburton is, for me, I view him as the type of player that needs to account for 40, not the type of player that's going to get you 40 and or 30, on a given night. And what I mean by accounting for 40 is that he's a solid 18 to 20 point scorer, but his main staple is assist. So if he is able to account for 20 to 25 points worth of assists, then that's him being ultra effective, and that's more of his game, which is why I've held off on the tag of superstar. But for the spread, look for the Thunder to cover that easy tonight, because I believe even if he plays, he's going to be hobbled. The rhythm won't be there for them. And for the total, I believe the under will probably end up being that, because even with these type of games, these desperation type games, you normally see the under for a lot of these, because the defensive intensity will be picked up on both sides. Probably you'll see a lot of hard fouls tonight. So look for the under to hit, but the spread will most likely be covered easy by the Thunder.
Max, when you look at the spread, what do you make of it?
Yeah, no, I do think it's interesting that it only moved half a point and still is up from the original expectation of Tyrese Halliburton playing. I know it's not concrete. Maybe that shifts a little bit right before tip-off when we get news he's playing. But like I mentioned last night, I do wonder, and I think Jeremy brings up a good point about if you're Oklahoma City, really testing him early and making him uncomfortable and really seeing if he, is he 70%, is he 50%, whatever it may be. But I also wonder for Rick Carlisle, how much do you push him? Yes, it's a win-or-go-home game. Your season's on the line. But if he's not effective because of that injury, you can't just go down with the ship because he got you there. But he's clearly not the best option tonight. So that is one thing I'm watching for, is if Tyrese Halliburton, either looks unhealthy, ineffective, whatever it may be because of his injury, does Rick Carlisle still give him the 35 minutes, 40 minutes he usually would, or does he kind of, call off the dogs a little bit, try and save him for later in the game? Looking at the spread, last night I didn't have a concrete feeling because we didn't know the news yet. I think Oklahoma City has shown that they're the better team. I think Game 4, they kind of flipped the switch there late when they made the late charge in Indianapolis, pulled away, really saved that series. I think if they had fallen down 3-1, they would have really had trouble finding a way to win 3 in a row. They've looked kind of like a different team since that moment, since they flipped the switch. But at home, in a place where Indiana's played really well the last 2 playoffs, it's tough, and knowing Oklahoma, like you said, knowing Oklahoma City struggles on the road, it's tough to confidently, for me, back them. But right now, picking a side, I would lean Oklahoma City just because I think they've proven, especially in the last game and a half, that they're at a level that Indiana cannot reach when Oklahoma City's playing their best game.
Yeah, you mentioned, how will Rick Carlisle treat Tyrese Halliburton's minutes? And we talked about this on Tuesday, Jeremy, and mentioning, Andrew Nebhard came in, had a couple of really costly turnovers. Should they have stuck more with T.J. McConnell in those minutes? But yesterday when we were on the show, we talked about, okay, if Halliburton's not able to play, do the Pacers have any chance without him? And Tyler had mentioned, well, you've got Nebhard and you've got T.J. McConnell. Those guys will be good enough to get things rolling. And Max pointed out, he said, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
Because
that is exactly true.
Because as good as McConnell has been at times in this series, it's been in spurts. It's been in 18, 20 minutes of action, not a full
game.
Exactly.
And he's not the focal point.
Exactly. And the big difference for me with guys like Halliburton and in comparison to McConnell and Nebhard is Halliburton's the engine of this offense. He gets the ball off the rebound, Miles Turner, whoever it may be, gets it to him, and they get rolling because of Halliburton's ability to quickly dissect where the defense is going and make the right basketball play, whether it's a Obi Toppin rim run or a Benedict Mathurin in the corner, whatever it may be. His ability, Halliburton's ability to dissect the defense and find the right play in transition is so pivotal. McConnell, I feel like if you're thrown a really strong defender, like a Lou Dort gets up in McConnell's grill, that's not going well.
That's cookies all night.
Exactly.
Cookies all night.
And Cason Wallace showed a couple of really strong moments of defense in Game 5 on Andrew Nebhard. And I think Nebhard is a good enough ball handler, primary ball handler in I guess the relief of a Tyrese Halliburton, but I'm not so sure it's for a full game. Especially on this stage in the NBA Finals against historically one of the best defenses we've seen all time in the Thunder. So I think it's going to be really important to see how much do you weigh the offense getting in rhythm with a guy like Halliburton, or knowing that he is injured, knowing that the defense is going to play differently against him. Would you go T.J. McConnell, Andrew Nebhard? You guys act like the coach here. Jeremy, what's your decision there? Would you go with Halliburton or lean on guys like McConnell and Nebhard?
So something interesting that I had actually heard earlier. If you start Halliburton and say you give him the first 3 to 4 minutes and you seeing that he's really not trying to be forceful and trying to push pace. He's not trying to get around guys, get into the paint, kick out, swing the ball, and do that stuff. An interesting thought that I heard was, do you start Mathurin? You move Nembhard as the primary point, and then you bring in Mathurin as the 2 guard, which I believe that if Mathurin can give you probably not the same performance I believe he had in game 2, I think it was when he went off for 27.
Yeah.
But if he can come in and give you solid minutes and get you somewhere between 16, maybe 20 points, that's good from him. Now, the biggest thing with the Pacers is that their game 1 win, although Halliburton hit the last second shot, it was really their contributions from Toppin and from Miles Turner, who ended up going over this postseason average that they've had.
Yeah.
I mean, because as I'm looking at it, Toppin is only averaging about 10 points this postseason, but I think that game he got you 16, 18
He's been great
points.
this series, yeah.
And so it's going to take some standout performances from other people to actually try to propel them to get this win. But if Nembhard, if Toppin, and if Turner hit their averages, which Turner is at 14, Nembhard at 12, and then Toppin only at 10, then this will end up being a runaway, which for some reason the Thunder seem to have a propensity to really let their foot off the gas early in the third.
Yeah.
They make it interesting, and you're sitting here thinking like, oh, are they about to give it up? And then they end up big fist on it, big fist on the table, and they end up taking over.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to see if Halliburton doesn't start, will he get playing time for one? But if he doesn't start, who then will come in? I believe it should be Mathurin, because even though to me he's a streaky scorer, he can at least score in multiple ways. So that to me would be the interesting thought. This game will really be decided within the first 7 to 8 minutes of the game.
Sure.
From the pace that Halliburton can, if he's able to go, can play with, and to see if he's not able to go, will the Pacers be able to keep pace scoring, no pun intended? Will they be able to keep pace scoring with the Thunder early on?
Yeah. Max?
Yeah, I think it is an interesting dilemma for Rick Carlisle. It's why he gets paid a lot of money, and why he's probably a future Hall of Fame coach with all that he's accomplished in the NBA. I do think you make a good point about Mathurin. He is a guy that if you're looking for other options because Halliburton either can't go or is ineffective, he's a guy that can win you a game, because similar to how Aaron Nesmith has done for them at certain times this playoffs, where he can go off for 25 and, man, that's just too much for Oklahoma City to match. I think you brought up T.J. McConnell. I kind of think of T.J. McConnell almost as a relief pitcher in baseball, where it's like, man, he can be really good for 2 innings. He throws 99. He doesn't throw it very accurately, but it's tough for batters to face one time. You face him a second or a third time, it's a little tougher. He walks more guys. That's kind of how I view McConnell. You turn McConnell into a starting pitcher, and he might give up some runs. Whereas I think a guy like Nembhard, he could steady the ship. I do think Halliburton is going to be given a fairly long leash. I think Rick Carlisle knows how important he is to the team, how they want to play. And, we saw what it was like when he went out in Game 5. I think Rick Carlisle wants to avoid that situation. If I'm the coach, I'm pushing him. It'd take him telling me, hey, this isn't good enough, or me clearly seeing he's ineffective. I'd be willing to go down with Tyrese Halliburton, the guy who has propelled you here, more so than I'm going to push the envelope with T.J. McConnell, Ben Shepherd, some of those guys.
If I could, let me ask both of you all, just a hypothetical. Halliburton plays, he's starting, but he's ineffective. So you said that you believe that he'll be given a long leash. So for the first quarter and a half, what do you need to see, or better yet, what is a stat line that you want to see within the first quarter and a half from Halliburton to say that, okay, he's good to go for a majority of the game, or you know what, it's time to pull him?
Well, what's interesting about the first quarter for Halliburton is that it's usually one of those feel-out quarters, and we've seen that throughout this postseason and in these finals in particular. Outside of Game 3, where he's kind of peer-pressured into being more aggressive, those first quarters have been feel-out games. The second quarter has been, not feel-out games, feel-out quarters to where he's not really being aggressive, but he's trying to get his other guys involved. My biggest thing is not necessarily a stat line I'm looking for. I'm just looking to see the speed and tempo that he's able to play with. Because if he's got that, then I think the Pacers can hang around. But if the speed and pace is not there, then that's where I say, okay, we've got an issue because we can't press the agenda that we want to push like we have all season. So it's and a lot of his stuff will be off assists. So in terms of the stat line, I'd say 2 or 3 assists first quarter, and I think we're in a good rhythm. But I'm looking more so the pace and how he looks just running it out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you say I agree with as well. I think one stat, if you are looking for a stat for me, is free throw attempts. Is he able to get by defenders and get to the line? Is he getting out in transition and getting those opportunities? We've seen that all postseason from him. He's a guy who's so effective at getting to the line, getting into the paint, driving. If he's not effective, if his leg's bothering him, that's going to affect him by getting to the paint, getting out in transition, which a lot of time has resulted in free throw attempts for him. And he's such a good free throw shooter; those are gimmies. So that is one stat. It's not going to define it, but it is something I keep my eye on because it would show, okay, he's effective enough. He's slashing. He's getting around defenders. He's making guys miss. He's ending up at the free throw line.
All right, we'll now switch over to the total. As we mentioned earlier, 222.5 per VIP play. Big money on this one, too. 95% of bets, 95% of money on the over. And I'll knock on wood before I say this. I've had a fair amount of success with picking the total in this series. So far, 4-1 heading into tonight. And last time I had the over, but tonight I'm going back to the under. It's done me so well in this series. And as Jeremy mentioned earlier, an elimination game on home court. I feel like the crowd will be a big impact. They're going to be into it. Knowing the Tyrese Halliburton injury, I feel like a lot of it is going to be reliant on the other guys for the Pacers, which could stem some struggles from the perimeter, stem some struggles from the field. I feel like this is going to be a low-scoring game, and defense is going to be a really big point of emphasis for both teams here. So I'm going to take the total under 222.5 pretty comfortably here. I envision this game is somewhere around 108 to 99 in favor of the Thunder, and I'm going to stick with the under here tonight. Max, Jeremy, the under or the over for the total?
I generally, in elimination games or whether it's tournament games in college, I like to lean overs in elimination games because I think teams, at least I have this theory in my head, that teams foul longer than they usually would because the season is about to end.
Yeah.
NBA, I think it's a little less prevalent than in college because college, a lot of times their careers are ending. But that is something I have found success with. Although, because of the uncertainty around Halliburton, I think we've talked about it already. If he's ineffective, therefore he gets hurt, he can't play as many minutes, they're relying on guys that I do not think will be able to consistently score or will turn the ball over a lot. So I would lean the under as well. I don't think I'll place an official play on it, but I will go against my traditional thinking here and lean under just because of the uncertainty around Halliburton. I think if he's unable to play or is ineffective, they could struggle to hit the century mark.
Jeremy?
For me, like I stated earlier, I believe the under is the play for tonight. Like I spoke earlier, the defensive intensity is something that you definitely want to keep an eye on for tonight, particularly from both sides of the ball. Because if I'm the Thunder, I'm really not trying to let this get to a Game 7. You like to win on your home court in front of your fans, but let's not play with fire. Let's not get to a Game 7 where anything can happen. But then the reverse for the Pacers. You're not trying to go home tonight.
Yeah,
you're not trying to have your season end. But from a gameplay standpoint, look for the Pacers. I think to try to trap a lot at the top of the key, both on SGA and with J-Dub. I think they saw last game that trying to single up against J-Dub is not the move because they really, although they have speed, for some reason they just don't have the lateral quickness to stay in front of them.
Yeah.
So look for them to probably trap a lot at the top of the key, on both of them. And with that being said, if Chet Holmgren isn't able to get off tonight, then the under is definitely a strong play because if he's not going to get you, I say 25 tonight, then definitely bet the under again for tonight. I'm still looking for Hartenstein's impact to still be big tonight, probably more defensively. as I believe that this would be a more defensive game. Him being able to get block shots, snagging boards, of course, on the defensive end, and then just maybe being able to get 1 or 2 extra possessions on the offensive end with tip outs and stuff. So look for the Thunder to probably continue their same defensive rotations and things that they have been doing this whole series, whether or not Halliburton plays or not. So yeah, those are kind of the 2 things in particular I'm really looking for from the Pacers side as to how tonight's game will go.
We'll now move to the props, but before we do that, let me tell you about the VIP Players Club sweepstakes. Every bet you make on VIP Play gets you entries into the VIP Players Club sweepstakes. You'll earn 1 entry per bet, 1 entry per dollar bet, and 10 times your entries on parlays and same-game parlays. The initial contest ends June 30th. Subsequent contest will follow. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. Time for the props. I've got 2 of them. One of them is a guy I've kind of tailed over the last couple of games, Chet Holmgren, to record a double-double at plus money. Ever since Holmgren has been given 30-plus minutes a night over the last 30 games, this is a stat line. In Game 3, it was 20 points, 10 rebounds. In Game 4, it was 14 points, 15 rebounds. In Game 5, it was 9 points on 4 of 15 shooting. The volume was there and 11 rebounds. So at plus 110 tonight, I'm taking Chet Holmgren to record a double-double. Ever since he has gotten the big minutes and Daigneault has gone away from the small ball lineups, Holmgren has succeeded mightily with Isaiah Hartenstein next to him and extended minutes. So I look at a double-double for Chet Holmgren as a good prop. My second one, Jeremy was talking about it earlier, and I loved it. Benedict Mathurin over 11.5 points. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. I said 2 guys will have to step up tonight if the Pacers are going to win. Aaron Nesmith, Benedict Mathurin. Mathurin was so strong in Game 3, goes for 27 points off the bench, was incredible. I'm not anticipating that per se, but I'm anticipating him to have the confidence at home to get in rhythm, to take shots, and especially if Halliburton is not healthy and not able to be an offensive scorer, I look for Benedict Mathurin to get involved in the action. Over 11.5 points for him. Chet Holmgren to record a double-double. Any prop bets for you guys? Any props? Max, begin with you.
I like Obi Toppin over 10.5. He is a guy that throughout this postseason, coming into the series, is only averaging 18 minutes a game. In the regular season, it was a little above that at 19. You look at his minutes the last 3 games, 28 in Game 3, 29 in Game 4, 22 in Game 5. That one got away from them a little late, saved him some minutes. But his minutes have gone up, and so has his scoring. 8 points, 17, 12, so he's averaging well over 10.5 these last 3 games. You take Game 1, he scored 17. I feel confident, especially with the uncertainty of Halliburton. His shot volume might benefit as well, especially with a guy like Nembhard. If he has to be ball handling the ball more, a few more shots come away from him. I just think Obi Toppin's been on an upward trajectory. His minutes have shown that as well. I think the volume will be there for him to increase to get over 10.5.
All right, real quick, some breaking news before we head to the break. Shams Charania of ESPN with a tweet. Indiana's Tyrese Halliburton, calf strain, will play in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Thunder tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. So we've got a good one on our hands tonight. When we come back, it's our best bets of the night. Stay right here. It's VIP Play. Excuse me, no, it's the Slate presented by VIP Play. Stay right here. Fan Run Radio.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
All right, back here on the Slate, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. Now time for our best bets of the night. My 4 best bets, as we talked about in the prior segment. Thunder, -6. Oklahoma City, Indiana, under 223. Had some line movement over the break as Halliburton was announced as he's playing. So now up to 223. Still taking the under. Get a little bit of a better number there. Chet Holmgren to record a double-double, +110. And then Benedict Mathurin, 11-plus points. The over, 11.5. My 4 best bets for tonight. Max, just recap your max out your winnings.
Yeah, Orioles Rays over 8.5. Take that straight. Trey Turner and Brennan Nimmo 1+ hit. Each parlayed comes out to -110. I gave out Paul Skeens earlier, over 6.5 Ks. He is at 3 right now, so hopefully some people tailed that. And then I'm taking Obi Toppin as well, late addition to the card, William, over 10.5 points. So those are my 4 plays. Hoping for a winning night, William. Let's see. Could be the last basketball game of the year.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Then we'll have to start getting very familiar with some summer league action. But we got the NBA draft next week,
Yes,
so we can do some NBA draft props. That'll be fun. And then, Jeremy, you had Thunder -6 in the under tonight, correct?
Yes.
Good deal. All right. Well, a couple of minutes to go before we head out here, but the Tyrese Halliburton news now confirmed. He will play tonight for the Pacers, as we talked about earlier. Rick Carlisle going to be tasked with managing how Halliburton looks early on in this game. Jeremy said earlier this one could very well be decided in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes in terms of where this thing is going to go. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to get some big performances from those role players, Benedict Mathurin being one of them. Does T.J. McConnell pop off for another one of these just out-of-nowhere performances? We'll have to see. But if this is the end of the season, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be up there with one of the strongest teams, offense and defensive-wise, we've seen in a very long time. And I know it's hard to grasp that because when you look at historic teams in the past, LeBron James or Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, they have the star power. And I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a star. I don't know if he's selling out arenas on his own in that superstar status, but he is definitely up there. But when you look at this Thunder team, a little bit untraditional when you think of some of the best teams of all time. So I had the Thunder pre-series, exact series price 4-2. and I put put about $20 on it. So I'm riding that out tonight. I had the opportunity to hedge.
You do.
I'm letting it ride, and hopefully, it'll be $110 if the Thunder can cut down. Well, I guess they don't cut down the Nets in the NBA, but hoist the trophy tonight.
Who's Finals MVP if they do get it done tonight?
We talked about this earlier in the week, Jeremy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the better numbers when you compare the two. He's got more points. They're similar in rebounds and assists, a little bit more effective in the field goal percentage numbers by just 2%. If he has another game where he's 30 points, he's got it. But if Jalen Williams can put another 40-point performance, I put a wager on that midway through last game. Just threw $5 on it when he was like plus 900 to win it, the MVP. I think it's possible he has a big night, but I feel like SGA wins it. Jeremy, do you agree there?
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And like I had stated a couple of days ago, SGA has just had the moment. Like,
yeah.
Mean, like I said, J-Dub has had the game, but SGA, he has had the moment. That game 3, which was pivotal when he went off in the fourth. So I look for him to retain the Finals MVP.
Yeah. Max, would you give it to SGA as well?
I think so. I think also sometimes in those awards, I know across all sports, whether it's Super Bowl MVP, World Series MVP, Stanley Cup playoffs, generally the guy that's the star, if it's a toss-up or he has neck and neck, they give it to the guy. I think it's partially kind of a nod to him and also another accolade they can throw on their career resume. So anytime I feel like it's a toss-up like that, like in the Super Bowl, so many times a guy maybe other than the quarterback should win it, but it's almost like a coronation of that guy's season. I would expect them to do the same for SGA, but I do think there's an opportunity, like you said. Jalen Williams has another 40-point game. It'd be hard to argue.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for a Thursday edition of The Slate presented by VIP Play. Best of luck to everyone at the table. We'll see you same time tomorrow, 6 to 7, right here on Fan Run Radio. For Max Pennell, Jeremy Inslee, I'm William Pattison. We'll see you next time.
Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment, and Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one